chance of transferring to long-term memory. Learning needs attention and memory. Okay, good. With that, we come to principle 1 and some of the practices, best practices that I'm bringing to you. All of them are technology-based. If you have on your cell phone and if you want to check, the Wi-Fi password here is gerência. Gerência probably, right? Let me just check. You did, Vinicius. So gerência 2016 @ okay? Gerência 2016 @ that's it. This is the Wi-Fi password. Let's go. Remember our first principle. Each brain is unique. As unique as? Very good. That is, if each brain is unique, there is no single way of learning, is there? We have to use variation. We have to bring transdisciplinarity. And we have to accept that we all learn in context. We all learn holistically. The separation in subjects, the separation into areas of knowledge was to make easier delivery of content and not easiness of learning. Please remember that. We are now at a stage where we have to recover that because we have never seen the levels of disengagement that we are observing in students today. Why? Because we are teaching in the wrong way. Please remember that. We have to use variation. We have to understand that all of us have to be immersed. We are immersed in a context. How can we think that we can separate, detach, think of the little thing as just a dot when we have the whole? We have to bring forward. Always that. Okay, how do we do that? Accessing our minds. Mind maps nowadays on the web, there are a variety of places that you go. MindMeister I brought to you. Why? Because it has a feature that doesn't depend on literacy. You don't have to be able to read and write to make a mind map. As long as your kids, you don't have to demand. So if you're working with kids and you know them, you want them to see the whole and to assess what they already know about a certain concept. Allow that to be done with pictures. And there is a tool for that. You don't have to type in everything. You don't have to be accurate at this level. We are assessing their prior knowledge. Each one has his own map. Make good use of it. Because if Vinicius has one, Leandro has another, Chris has another, I can connect all the maps and bring forward a much richer and collective map for our learning, or not. Okay, second principle, context and ability shape our brains. It's not only our nature, it's also our nurture. It's not only our genes, it is also the environment. Nature and nurture are not in opposition. There is no dichotomy anymore. They are in constant interplay, in constant interaction. So, if we understand that, manage the learning at the individual level. Because if I say to Vinicius that, he's gonna go there in his gadgets and quickly draw the links, while Valeria prefers pen and pencil. While Yes. Guys, we are all different. We are not acknowledging that in the classroom. We are not creating opportunities, collectively speaking, to allow our students to express their individuality and move it on to collective understanding.
But we have been forced to be more technological now, not only teachers but also students, right? And when you mentioned something very important, because I thought, wow, how he's fast and how he's modern. I'm still in the wrong. And
I will give you some hug on that soon, okay? Hug to your mind.
The students must now, from now on, just use iPads.
Well, yes, when it's forced, everything that is forced to me, yes. Why? Because again, if I'm telling you that each brain is unique, we learn by our context and ability, and we must emphasize and value that. How can I
Yeah, that we
push forward something that is
not ready enough
exactly?
technology the way they are imposed to, right?
Yes, let's hear Vinicius.
There was a professor at university. She said that her name was Rosinda, and she mentioned that whenever we try to force something just for the sake of it, it's just like having a Rosinda using a mini skirt. She would say, Rosinda de sainha. You change the appearance, but you don't change the content. Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else about neuroscience that is very important. It's in my book, by the way, which is digital. Why? Because it has video and feedback online. I have to walk my talk, right? Each one of us learns differently. How can a book be the same? You have to be able to talk to me in different ways. So that's the way I found it interesting to deliver content. Anyway, whenever you are forced into doing something, is it relevant to you? Important? Why is it not important to me if it's forced? Let's think.
Yes, because I think that I'm not doing or using it because it's interesting to me or because I want, but because someone wants me to do that. And so...
What is the equation for learning? Are you going to have my attention if you are forcing me to pay attention to what is important to you? As easy as that, guys. That's why I am against forcing things in learning environments. You don't create the attentional hook that we all need. I can all get you from a different perspective if I understand where you're coming from. So we need to assess that. Yes. Yes, guys. I'm telling you, technology is here to stay. Intelligence, artificial intelligence is here to stay. And it's much, greatly better than us at exponential learning. It's algorithms piled up together. What are we good at? I'm good at assessing you. I'm good at adapting you on a minute-by-minute basis. Computers don't do that. Artificial intelligence doesn't do that. That's my next point, yes. Watson has been freaking us out.
But the computer will never engage.
Exactly. Yet. But anyway, yes, we're not still talking about holograms. But guys, we have to capitalize on what we humans uniquely have. We have the characteristic and the opportunity of bonding. And this is caused by This is great. Amazing, I have to share with you. We have mirror neurons. Have you ever heard of this? Mirror neurons that are our Gandhi neurons, neurons that feel what the other feel. Have you ever heard of this? I will tell you about on another day. But now I must tell you about the peripheral neurons. What are these? This is a population of neurons in our brains that assess the environment. They are constantly mapping the environment. So as a teacher, when I come here, it's because I want to connect. I feel that, don't you feel that, no, she's pulling me, she's attracting me. There is a special body of neurons in our brains doing that all the time. Peripheral neurons. Isn't it amazing? Yes! Today, what's your name, my dear? Today, your brain's doing puff, puff. She's looking at me and like, what is this? Okay, yes, guys, it's a whole new world out there. Okay, so we have to manage at the individual level. If we are not good at algorithm, let's do with who is good at that. We have to manage at the individual level with portfolios online. Nobody has space anymore. Space on Earth is costly, right? Very costly, very much pricey. Today, guys, everything is online, and the memory, no problem. Everything goes to the cloud. Isn't it our expanded memories? Everything is on the cloud today, right? So capitalize on that. Leave your neuronal resources for what is really important. Bonding, connecting, being here for what here demands. This is important.
When you read a biography,
Okay.
we see that that person, maybe a genius, a very famous person, the context of when he was growing up was completely different. And this person achieved that point, or a very nice pianist, a very excellent genius director, director of orchestra, conductor of orchestra, everything. Is it possible, according to, because there are many biographies that we follow, normally they belong to a context completely different.
Yes, and then you say, how come from the mud to the stars, right?
That's
Kind of what you're saying.
I read a biography yesterday of Leonard Bernstein.
Einstein already told that early in the beginning of last century, we are all geniuses. He was hitting at plasticity. We all have the ability of developing. We must believe that. But believe not in the question of blind faith. Believe by knowing that what we have in here is unsurmountable in terms of limits. There are really no limits. Nowadays, we are seeing more and more people who have not been credited with any chance in life. As if, right? As if. Somebody could say that sentence, that you are no good for anything, to a person at any moment in life. This is preposterous. We all have to believe that everybody is a success story to be told. We just have to find the right narrator.
May I ask another question?
Of course.
I had a very rigid education, and I had to eat and to learn things that I didn't want to, but I had to. And nowadays, some things I consider they are very good, they are wonderful, they made me a different person, and to eat things that I didn't like it, but I was forced to do it. Okay, so and I'm now accepted. Now I don't think about this that I had to.
Mm-hmm.
It's with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I do it normally.
Okay.
Is it possible
To
that
do
I
what?
receive the things without like wanting to do it or to eat it, and nowadays I do it.
Yes. Rote learning.
But you said that everything that was imposed.
Yes. Yes. But please understand, and I will be at the same place to create a memory that surpasses the other memory that you created and it was not. Pay attention, teachers. This is important. Whenever you understand that a student didn't get what was a clear idea, perhaps we are not very clear, right? I may have not been very clear. So I physically place myself in the same space. Why? I'm trying to reconstruct a memory in her mind. And we all depend, you see, on three things to create working memory. Visual, spatial, sketchpad. We locate in space with our visual channels. We hear and we memorize phonological loop. And we create that FAC, episodic buffer. These three elements form working memory. So here I am talking to you at the same place to recreate a memory that didn't settle right. Today, at this context and at the moment the world is in, there is no forcing anymore. A student today who is forced knows that he has other ways out. The first thing is right on the palm of his hand, right? So contextually speaking, we are in a context that allows for disengagement when I am not able to engage myself, when I don't want. I'm not there. Our context today, in the year 2018, allows us that. When you learned 1960s, you liked that, right? No, I'm being good. Yeah, yes. But let's say 1960s. Your context allowed you to say, I don't want? No. There you go.
My mother had
Principle number 2. What is principle number 2? Nature and? So do you see? Nature and nurture. Created the memory? Good. Okay, guys. Online, do you know Wixie? Have you ever tried Wixie online? Go, guys, go. Please, this will be, this presentation, don't worry, you may even take photos, notes, but it will be all accessible to you in my channel or in here, Disal has a channel, right? Disal channel. So don't worry about taking notes. Stay with me and we go. That's Wixie Online for you. Everything goes online. It is awesome. Doesn't occupy any space in your RAM. Okay? It's all on the cloud. Principle number 3. The brain changes with experiences. Do you believe that you guys will be the same when you leave this session today? You never will look at a brain and say, oh my God, what does this person have on top of his head? Isn't it amazing? It is great, guys. It is the best thing ever. Speaking about the body, right? Because there are greater things outside our bodies. Okay, but in terms of development, again, we are just scratching the surface of what a human brain can do. Believe it. So the brain changes with experiences. Yes, on that? Very good. How do you work on that? Give constant quality feedback to your students. I mean quality. What is this? It's feedback on the task, feedback on the progress, feedback on the product. Why? Because we are all made of connections. We have to mirror our neurons. We have almost 100 billion of them in our bodies. Here. Just here. They all work together in connections, synapses. No single neuron does anything alone. A neuron just fulfills its purpose when it connects with another neuron. What are we doing and not connecting to learn? Aren't you a fan of technology now? Because what other means, whatever time in history brought us the chance to connect with people like today because of technology. I am a fan. Just because of that. I said, is it or not, guys? Of course there are bad sides to it. Yes, but mainly on the way that we use this tool. It is a tool. It will always be a tool. Yes, education is at the front of this cart horse. Yes, dear, are you worried about the air conditioning? If you? Yes, water is here. Yes, Lidik. Is the air conditioning on? Yes, because everybody, okay, we are all heated up by the topic, but our bodies need some refreshment, right? Yes. If you want an adequate temperature for learning, it's between 18 degrees and 22 Celsius. Yes, yes, you see, the science is amazing, has so much good knowledge, right? Yes. Why am I telling you that? Because if you have this beautiful machine in your learning environments, set it to no higher than 22. Why? You are going to feel a little bit chilly. Feeling a little bit chilly will let you attentive. You don't like doze off because it's so cozy, it's so warm, right? That's why babies sleep, because they are very warm most of the time. We don't lose that, okay? So, 18 to 22, good. Let's see, hope it works. Okay, what are the two types of feedback we have? You look beautiful today. I like your hair so much. Does it help you in your learning? No. This is not feedback. This is candy. Not good for the tooth even. I'm not even talking about the figure. So, yes, guys, as a culture, we have to start reconsidering the way we treat feedback. Unfortunately, for Brazilians, in a cultural perspective, we don't come and say, look, this is not right. It's not going to let you learn to the best of your potential. Let's try to do this other thing. Whenever we say to a person to correct, ai, não gostou do que eu fiz, mas não vai com a minha cara. I changed codes on purpose. I used Portuguese because in Brazil, we don't accept quality feedback. We want to be pat on the back and say, tudo bom aí, hein? Legal, né? Gostei do seu bigode. Yes or no? His mustache is good for him, very good. But it is his own choice. We have to disengage, disconnect feedback that is for learning from characteristics that are personal and choice bound. If he has a mustache or no, if he dresses in such a way or no, if he is this or that gender, it's his choice. It has nothing to do with learning. And we have to pay attention to the way we address that question in learning environments. Feedback. That is quality. Use activities that cater for the social nature of learning. Who gives feedback? Please. Yes, to everybody else, right? How can I get feedback if I isolate people in learning? I have to create moments of connections, moments that engage the social medium, collective learning, so that students have the opportunity that teachers create to give quality feedback. Guide your students. Feedback on task, doing the task well, doing the task not well, where is it not well, how can I move to a good stage? On the progress, you are learning, you're not learning, what are you doing, how can you get to the next level? On the product, there is usually summative, it's a test. Okay, you got this grade, what did you learn from this grade? How can you improve from what is reflected with this grade? And let's move on. This is just measuring temperature, guys. Grades should never have the prominence that they have in our learning environments. Grades have to be thermometers. They gauge learning, as with many other instruments we have. It's not even the most important, let alone the one that we all have to consider. We have to pay attention to that. This is really important. Online journals. Do you read blogs? Yes or no? 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 The little... Okay, you can read my blog to start with. You can read Disal's blog. Yes, you can read her blog. What are blogs, guys? Blogs are those places where very prominent, very actual, very present issues are being exchanged, are being put up front, are being there on the arena for people to comment, for people to have a different view, for people to learn from a different medium. Go to blogs. Really, select those that are people who do this for us. I go to this blog because this person is go to that blog because and then you go and then you go. In 1 month, you are reading the top guys and all the others that come. And we understand that variation, transdisciplinarity, other ways of learning pertain to how we all learn. We don't only learn from books or people that stand in front of us. We learn from the ways, the channels, and the variety that we propitiate to our own learning. We have to use that potential. Technology does that too. Yes. ReadWriteThink.org is a blog for teachers. If you haven't been to it, go. This is the place to be if you want to have teachers' opinions on different things. ReadWriteThink.org. Okay? Principle number 4. The brain is highly plastic. What is neuroplasticity again? Is it an ability or... Oh, before? Oh, you want